Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Redstone Projects, and today I have made an adventure map. I made this adventure map for one of my favorite YouTubers. His Minecraft name is Parker_Games, but he runs the channel Mineplex Official, and I made this adventure map for him, and then on Twitter he posted, like, the day I finished it, he posted on Facebook that he's gonna be doing some fan appreciation videos. So I'm like, wow, what a bit more perfect time to send him this than now. So I made this sort of a fan-made adventure map. I used a lot of custom sounds, and I'm basically going to be spoiling the entire map in this process. I'm going to be showing you a lot of the redstone, a lot of things that I did to create it. But if you have not played it yet and you would like to, you could find a link in the description to download this map off the Planet Minecraft page, so you can play this for yourself before you watch the spoilers video and redstone stuff. But in this map, let me just go ahead. My sound's good. In this, there is custom music and stuff. Most of the time, he uses the intro music, which is... And you get his intro music. See, I used a bunch of, I used a custom resource pack with sounds. But if I go to my resource packs, you only see my resource packs. That's because in 1.8, you can have a resources folder into the world file itself. And it just works. So, I'm gonna go through the first scene. I'm not actually gonna go through the entire adventure map. I'm just gonna go through scene by scene. I'm gonna go through scene 1, then I'm gonna discuss what happens in the redstone for that scene, and then I'm gonna continue with scene 2. But first, let me walk through here, and yeah, enter to start. Here we go. And it goes like this: 4 a.m. last Tuesday. So you see the sun and the moon. And then you go here, and then there's this little animation with the blaze coming over. And if you didn't know, KitKat was Parker's wolf, and he takes the wolf. There's a bit of lag there, and then he comes and shoots a fireball at you. And then there's this voice, which I played using some audio effects. And you will never, ever see him again. And then there's some particles here, and boom, and there's a very low noise. And then you have these moving platforms, which you have to parkour to the middle to do. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go into game mode 1 so I can go ahead and show you everything. Now what you do is you parkour across these things and you get to the middle thing. Once you get here, boom, checkpoint. But then, oh, it's lagging. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, this is gonna be a bit laggy. Please, I apologize for any lag that's in this video. But if you go away from the platform and then you come back, it doesn't say checkpoint again because it's a piston that pushes the block, and then it won't let you do it again. So, but then what you have to do is you have to parkour over to here, and then you're just gonna be like, oh, that chest is locked. So what you have to do is you have to go over here to this chest, and then you have to go back to there, or you can just die and respawn right here. And then you open this chest, boom. And so yeah, if I take it out of my inventory, it's locked, and if I pick it back up, it'll open. So that's a bit of redstone that I'll show. There's actually an armor stand right here that is detecting within a 5-block radius where a player is that has this item in its inventory. If a player has this exact key item, which is, it's just a wooden hoe with a custom texture. So yeah, if I'm over here, it'll be locked, but as soon as I get within 5 blocks of an armor stand that's up there, it'll open. And there's also some redstone behind here. As soon as you take this key out, it'll turn off that torch, and it'll put these 4 command blocks. Now this one will just tell you checkpoint, and these 3 are set block commands. Now what they do is they set these 3 blocks right here, so that after you get both keys, once you get the chest key and then you get the door key, you can door key, that sounds funny, but then you can come over here. And this is a bit hard. You need to time it. These are arrow spawners. The command for these was rather long. I used it using a program or a web page called MC Stacker. You can go ahead and look that up. I think it's mcstacker.com, I'm not sure. MC Stacker was originally created for stacking entities on top of each other using the riding command, but it can be used for so many other things. And I fell into the lava again. Great. But yeah, it's kind of hard. And then once you get over here, and the door will automatically open for you unless you drop the door key, and then it'll close again. Of course, you could break the map by doing that. Now, I've broken the map, and it's impossible, but... Yeah, and then as soon as you step on that glowstone, but allow me to show you the redstone for this part. So if I go into game mode 3, which is spectator mode, I can come under here, and I can go underneath this. Oh, boom, here is all the redstone required. Now this is the spawn chunks of this world, so they will never be unloaded. At least I think that's how it works. That's how it seems to work anyway. The set world spawn is right around here in the middle, so all these should be good. Now this is my main fill clock. As you can see, it's a the fill clock. Although I could make it so you can punch them out, but that's not how it is. But for the moving platforms, we have these. Now, this is just a weather clear for 1,000,000. I probably could have this set somewhere else, but I don't have a long clock for it, so I just plopped it right here, because I had because what I originally did, I stacked up these 2 sets of command blocks. These are all the clone commands for all the platforms, and it clones a platform and it moves it over one. And you don't need to delete any blocks, because what I did is I have it clone a block from here, so a block from right there, and to a block right there. But blocks aren't actually there, so it's cloning air on both sides of this thing. So that way, when it clones it, the air will actually cut off the end of it, so that you actually don't need to delete any blocks on your own, if that makes sense. And then, so if I wanted to change one of the platforms up there, all I need to do is, boom, platform is instantly different. It's, you don't need to update anything or anything. These are kind of weird, because when the platform moves, you actually fall through them, which is a glitch or something. Then you have this one. I originally had this ice as slime blocks, but that didn't work out too well. It made it really, really difficult, but I think with the ice, it makes it a little bit easier. Also, the keys. The keys are, let's see where they are. No, that's the nether star. Okay, yeah. And so, the armor stand over there, which is named one chest, relative, it'll execute at any armor stand named one chest, wherever it is. That armor stand will be executing the command test 4 at any player within a 6-block radius that has a wooden hoe in their inventory. So, as you saw, when I was within a 6-block radius of that armor stand up there, which was invisible, it unlocked the chest and allowed me to go. So, how you can tell that is block data where the chest is, lock true. Now, as soon as this turns on, it'll trigger this command block, which will have lock set to false. Now, it actually doesn't have a thing. You don't do that, or without caps, but you just have quote with nothing, and it makes it so it's not locked. I don't know why they didn't add like a false, but that's how it is, so that's how it's gonna stay. But then if you walk away again, it'll lock it again. Because, for instance, if I was to go up there with a key, boom, it would shut off this torch, and then it would trigger this, which would make it unlocked. But then if I was to walk away, it would turn on this torch, which would then make the chest locked again. So that's how that works. And if you're wondering how I made the blaze capture the KitKat dog, well, I'll show you how it works. It actually involves like killing the dog, but it's just a prop for the video, it's just a prop for the cinematic. So basically, up there where you start, which is somewhere over there, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but when you start, what it will do is it'll set your scoreboard score of start to 1, and this is testing to see if you have a score of 1 for start, and if you do, it'll start this whole trigger thing. It'll reset your start score, and then this thing will plop a block into this hopper chain, when then it'll plop it into this chest. But as it goes down, it'll transfer over to here, which will then have a block data transfer cooldown of minus 200. 200 ticks is 10 seconds, I believe. So what it needs to do is for 10 seconds, it needs to have the signal on. That's why I have the block data command there. And so when that goes on, this piston gets triggered over here, which allows this redstone signal to go through, which is attached to the fill clock. So it's a really fast repeating signal. And what that does is it teleports you to that spot and looking in the exact right direction. And if you try and move your mouse, it'll instantly make you facing that same way again. Now, as the 200 ticks are ticking by, it's also counting through all of these stages. It'll give you invisibility, it'll clear your levels, it'll summon the dog, and then it'll clear your inventory. And I think where is the summon blaze? Actually, yeah, it'll put you in game mode 2, which you already were in, and by then it'll summon the blaze, which has a custom name SB. I don't know why I named it SB, just something, I don't know. And then it'll TP any blaze that is named SB to an entity that is named A. Alright, and the entity that is named A, if I go into game mode 3, over here in the set, if you don't know what this set is, this is set from Cube Season 1. There's a bunch of invisible armor stands over here that are named different things. It goes all the way through the letter of the alphabet, A through Z, and then 1 through 10 for the way back, and it teleports the blaze to here, armor stand by armor stand, to make it look smooth, and then it teleports the blaze and the dog all the way back, armor stand by armor stand, until they're back over here again, and then the blaze comes back out with a third set of armor stands. It comes over here, and then it teleports back again teleporting to armor stands one by one, making it appear as if the blaze is moving a certain direction. Now, I could have done it so that it teleported the blaze with relative coordinates using a blaze that had no AI, but I thought this would be easier because I could just, get the old command back in and then change the number again. So, yeah, that's what I did. So, teleports it to there, teleports it to there, and then it plays the sound mob.blaze.breathe, which, just adds to the ambience, and it plays it for a really long time. It teleports it all along the thing, and then when you get to the part with the dog, and then it'll make the wolf an angry wolf. It'll give it an angry NBT attribute. It'll play the sound mob.wolf.hurt at A, and then it'll keep teleporting. It'll play the hurt wolf sound again, and then it'll keep teleporting. Play the angry sound, keep teleporting, play the angry sound, keep teleporting, you get the idea. And then it'll do a couple more teleports, and then this is the command to when the blaze summons the fireball. Now, it took me a while to get the fireball direction and speed right, but once I got it right, I really liked it. And then it affects you with blindness at the delay that it would take for the fireball to fly towards you. And then it keeps teleporting it down, and then finally it teleports you to the start of the parkour. It plays the sound archery. They have a bunch of weird names because I'm not quite sure how to make a custom audio texture pack, so I just took an audio texture pack from an already existing map and just, replaced the sound names with other ones. I don't think they'd mind, but yeah, because I use my own sounds though, so it doesn't matter. And then game mode 2, I had these command blocks here at first because I was originally going to have the player be put in spectator mode there, but then I realized you could see the invisible armor stands in spectator mode, and I'm like, ooh, this is not going to work. And then it plays that. This is the sound. Archery is the sound of the haha, I'm going to steal your dog, so if I play that by doing this, yeah, that's the sound of that. And then it has the tell raw for the chat, and it'll set your spawn point there so that if you die, you won't exactly have to start over again. And by the time he's done talking, you will never ever see him again. I have it timed up so that it'll appear in the chat when it needs to. It'll kill the start wolf, and then it'll kill the blaze, and then it'll give you a bunch of particles of lava. It'll play mob.enderdragon.growl. More particles. So, that is pretty much it for stage 1. Now, how stage 2 starts is if I do, say, at E, I can see, room 1, I think is the name of the armor stand. Because, if you step into that room of the glowstone that you saw a little bit ago, and, just for, the sake of ease, I'm going to turn on my, my book, which is the teleports book, and it gives me one every time I clear my inventory. So say I had an inventory full of junk, I was working on stuff, and I'm like, oh, I need to clear my inventory, book, and I still get the book back. So, and this allows me to basically, I can go to all the parts of the map and teleport back. Not all of them are listed on here because I started this book and then I added more stuff. I have everything except for the very beginning and the very last thing. So everything in between is here. So there's few things here. You got the redstone base, first parkour, wither fight, which is right after the first parkour, castle spawn, castle redstone, and boss arena. So there's not a whole lot of stages, but yeah. Alright, then what happens? When you enter that glowstone room, there's an armor stand that detects to see when you enter, and that armor stand will give you a score of wither fight of 1. And then, once you have that score of wither fight, this command block will test to see if you have that wither fight score. And if you do, it'll then change your spawn point to the wither fight room, so you can respawn there. And then it'll place on arrow storm, which is, let me get this command block real quick. It's this noise.
You thought you could get away that easily. Well, let's see how you do against my pet wither.
There's a little bit of clipping there, yeah, but then it teleports you to where that thing is. Oh, I got that glitch. Stop playing the noise.
Well, let's see how you do against.
Yeah, see how you do against my pet wither, and then it'll set your thing to wither, and then what it'll do is it'll summon a wither boss named Dr. Blaze's pet wither. Alright, then once you're in the wither fight, what will happen is, over here, it says, score per player's test to see if you have the wither fight score. And, how it gave you the wither fight score when you entered the room. Once you get that wither fight score, it'll start this clock. Around every 30 ticks, if you consider all these repeaters, redstone torch, and this repeater, a command block will be placed here, and then it'll be triggered by this block, which has a redstone signal pumped into it. And what these command blocks will do is they will summon one of 7 items into the middle of the wither fight room, because you're going to spawn in the wither fight room with nothing, but then items are going to start spawning in the floor. Like one of these is a chest plate, one of these is a helmet, one of these is leggings, one of these are boots, one of these is a sword, and one of these are notch apple. So yeah, you need all of them to defeat the wither, but that's pretty much the wither fight. Wither fight's pretty basic, takes around like 2 minutes. But then the thing is, once you pick up the nether star, yeah, it's trying to test to see if you have a nether star. If you do, then it'll clear you of that nether star, and then it'll set your castle score to 1, which will then make it so you can hear the dialogue from all the mobs, from like the king and stuff. And then it'll reset your wither fight score, so that clock is no longer in effect, the clock that gives you random items. And then it'll say that was all a simple distraction to make you pick up the hidden teleport device. The hidden teleport device being the nether star. It'll give you hunger, it'll give you blindness, and as it's playing that noise, this repeaters will tick up until it hits here. Now you're in the middle of nowhere with no way back. Ha 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 ha. And then it'll clear you of all the keys that you got. It'll say 3 days later on a title. And then it'll teleport you to where you need to go, and then it'll teleport you again, because sometimes you glitch into the ground, just to make it foolproof. You want to be sure, just in case, because you don't want someone to suffocate in the ground and die and have that ruin, their adventure map. But allow me to demonstrate what it's like at the castle. So if I go to the first parkour, and then I go over here, and then I kill the wither. If I walk in here, boom. You thought you would get away that easily, and as you can see, the items are spawning in here, and I could go ahead and put that on. Protection 4, time to own, and you got another chest plate. Come on, I'm gonna spawn some good ones. There you go, you got a sword, and it also says over here, the sword that owns, stuff like that, and it gave me another book. Don't do that, and it gave me a helmet, like that, and then I could go ahead and kill this guy if I just, effect, build and survive. No, I don't want speed, I want strength. I want strength for 10 seconds, and I want it to be times 200. Alright, here we go. Oh, that was extremely easy. Wow. And then, when you pick up the nether star, wait for it. There it goes.
Distraction to make you pick up the nether star that had a hidden teleport device inside of it. Now you are in the middle of nowhere with no way back.
Boom. 3 days later, and you spawn on the ground. See, but then it teleported me up, so it's all good. And so yeah, click the button, and I have a texture packer that makes Steve.
Parker. The king has been waiting.
Oh, good, you're awake, Parker. King has been waiting for you. Yeah, more of my voice, playing the characters. These will look like Steve, in the map. It's just because I have my resource pack that makes it so that when I record offline, I have my skin. So yay for resource packs. But yeah.
Right this way.
Right this way. I agree with you. And so you come into here, and I did not build any of this, by the way. I used some schematics from places like Planet Minecraft, and I think MinecraftSchematic.net or .com, I forget, something like that. But yeah, there's some really cool schematics I had. I have a whole list of them, a whole folder of them. These guys have custom trade that you'll need here in a second. Click on this guy.
Unfortunately, the teleport machine's power core is broken.
Oh, that's too bad. And then there's a place power source, and this is a teleport machine. So obviously you need to get you need the teleport machine, because he said you're in the middle of nowhere, more like 200 blocks away. But no, don't tell anyone you're only 200 blocks away. Yeah, but then you come up here, and it'll start the sequence of this guy. This guy.
I can see you need a power source.
Yeah, this guy is King Sparkles.
Now, I would give you one.
I would give you
but
one.
I don't have the stuff required to make
Oh,
it.
really?
If you want the power core, you will need to trade me these items to get
Hi, King
4
Sparkles.
iron ingots and 4 gold ingots. Good
Oh,
luck.
he's supposed to have a
Right-click
Z,
me
right?
when you have
Oh, yeah, he
the
does have a
items.
Z.
I'm sure the townspeople will sell you these ingots. Here is some money.
Thank you for the money, dude. And you can actually trade with this guy if you right-click him. But there's actually invisible villagers. So if I go in game mode 3, you can see there is an invisible villager that is named King Sparkles. So that when you right-click him, it'll say King Sparkles. He can't move. He's invulnerable. He's silent. And he has invisibility with the particles invisible forever. So yeah, you can trade with him the things that you need, and once you do, and allow me to, well, let me show you what the redstone is real quick. If I go to Castle Redstone, which is just right up here, teleports me instantly. Once you get the power core, there's an NBT data match, and there's a bit of a hopper clock here, and it tests to see if the item frame has the exact MBT data as the thing before, even though it doesn't need to have all this data be completely exact. So the first time you talk to the king, it'll see if you have first it'll test to see if you have a castle score of 1, which you get when you get teleported here. Then it'll play some letters to you, which is the king speaking, and then it'll time it out with the text, and then it will. I don't know why that command block is empty, but yeah, it'll go through all the text. It'll give you die, which is renamed to coin, and then it'll reset your castle score. Then what will happen is it tests to see if this one is trying to clear you of a double plant 0 0. Basically, it's testing to see if you have the coin in your inventory. So if I look for what's it called? Yeah, here it is. Minecraft double plant. This looks like a coin. This looks like, yeah. So once you get that from the king, it'll, yeah.
I hope you get your dog back. Yes, I can read minds. That's how I do that.
Yeah, so he says that once you get the power core. The power core isn't this. This won't actually work. I'm gonna actually need to do work, but this isn't the actual map. This is just a copy of the map, so I can just punch through here. It doesn't matter. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, so allow me to demonstrate this. I'll trade 5 of these guys with you, even though you only need 4 of them. I gave them 2 extra in case they messed up or something. Because if you mess up, you kind of have to redo the whole map. Yeah, this guy says...
The king is right up here.
Yeah, the king... Okay, thanks for that, dude. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I can trade with this guy. 5 for... boom. So yeah, very good, Parker. Now you may use my teleport machine. So once you get the uber powerful power core with like 1 billion enchantments on it, because why not? I just, I have the MC stacker. It's really fun to play with, but yeah, I have an invisible armor stand that's renamed to teleport machine with a custom name visible there. And so yeah, the redstone for this thing, I showed you the MBT data, but I'm not gonna be coming back here, so let me just show you this. Once it detects it, it'll say play this on portal.travel. It'll give you particles. It'll put a bunch of text in the inventory. There's no custom sounds in this part. It'll go through a bunch of particles, and then it'll teleport you, and it has some text for you to read. It basically says, well, let me just show you. The beacon will turn on too. So place the power source. User, think about where you want to go. You'll be teleported to that place in 3, 2, 1, and then boom, teleports you, and then the king. What? How did you get here? Well, that doesn't matter. First, I'm going to kill you, and then I'm gonna kill your duck, and then boom, you get some explosions. You fly upward. Now, hopefully, you have full prot 4 by now from that wither fight, and then there is a bunch of killer rabbits. These are the killer rabbits from Monty Python. This is what you have to fight first. This guy's got a stick with like knockback 10. And so he's pretty fun to fight. But when you have all of these guys converging on you, and by the way, these bunnies, they do 4 hearts of damage in 1 hit with no armor. So they do about half a heart to a heart every hit with like full prot 4. And hopefully some notch apples left. But if you die, he'll just respawn. So what you have to do, I'm just going to demonstrate this by killing at E, type equals zombie, and then you kill the zombie. And now, if I kill the rabbits, it'll start the sequence. Now, he falls from up there. Now, watch closely what happens. Watch the king on the throne. It's not really anything fancy, but watch. Okay, the king on the throne goes up there, and then boom, he's on top of his. And there's music in the background too, which is kind of cool. And these guys have super powerful bows. And then and this guy has got full prot 5 leather armor with a custom dye color, and he'll shoot you with his like power 10 bow. But the Dr. Blaze is what you need to worry about. Now, this guy has like punch 10 on his bow. He'll literally, if he's over here, he will literally toss you against that wall, like fling you against it from way over here. And this guy's just chilling up here, Dr. Blaze. Now, what you want to do is you want to get him low on health. Now, since I'm in creative mode, I can do that without affecting the other stuff. And I think I'm getting crits every time while flying. That's pretty cool. So once this Blaze gets within 22 health, a death animation will show. This Blaze has actually 500 health using custom NBT data with summoning and stuff. But yeah, he'll eventually get low enough. Eventually. It'll take a while. And so, yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's not possible. And so he explodes, and then boom. I've actually never, normally it'll take you way longer than this song, so I'm just gonna let the song play out for a second. So yeah, I really love this song, by the way. It sounds really epic. This is a royalty-free song too, which is pretty crazy. Dun 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 dun. It's actually playing from right here. Dun 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 dun. It's an epic song. I really love it. But yeah. And so once everything is dead, it normally you'd be still fighting everything by now. Once you pick up this diamond, it'll teleport you here. This is the vault key. Place the key. Oh, there he is. And this is like lighting, invisible lighting. So you place this here, and there's beautiful piano music. This actually wrote this piano song. And then it's KitKat. You win. I hope you enjoyed. It breaks down that wall. Oh, it's KitKat. This KitKat is actually tamed to Parker Games. So if he right-clicks it, it'll actually stand up and walk, which I think that was pretty neat. Hope you enjoyed. I made my builds right. Check me out on YouTube. Parker, you win. And then thanks to MC Stacker, a bunch of signs, 60 random people, and websites like Planet Minecraft for schematics and stuff. I spent about 20 hours on this project. See some of more of my work on YouTube and Planet Minecraft. You got these particles on all the signs. The Redstone. It's just, I love this song. It was one of my best songs I ever made, actually. There's a little hopper clock that makes the particles go, and it's just a particle fireworks spark. There. That's the command. And so yeah, every time you get nearer to this dog, this dog is basically testing for you within a 5-block radius, and if you are, it'll do the fireworks, and it'll say you win. Hope you enjoyed, in that Mineplex style font. And then you can also press this button and to go into creative and get a teleports book. I got 2 of them because I have that teleport book thing set up. Normally it won't be, but yeah, the song still plays. It's almost done. Here we go. And so yeah, that's that song. And you can right click here, and you have all those teleports again, so you can view it. So let me backtrack a little bit. When you are at the castle, this won't be here. This is a clock that turns on once you start battling the final blaze. And what this is doing, all the other blazes in the world will be dead by this time. So what it's doing, it's testing for a blaze with a health of 21 or 20 or 19 or 18, and I've tested it, and unless you have strength or something, even with crit hits, it doesn't matter. Crit hits still do an even number of health damages, so that no decimal points are needed when testing to see if the king is on a certain health. But once the king is on any health ranging from 1 health, which is heart, to 21 health, I guess it's 21, yeah, once it's so that's 20 and a half hearts, 10 and a half hearts. And so it'll trigger all these. It'll trigger one of these, which will then start this sequence of affect the blaze with his resistance. So then you can't kill the blaze after the sequence has started. It'll play sound booby, and the booby was originally for booby traps. So just so you know. So yeah, it'll affect with resistance. It'll run all the way down the line until it finally, because all those particles smokes, and then it'll play sound random.explode. It'll kill the blaze, and the blaze will drop the diamond. Now, how this whole thing starts, the boss battle, when you get teleported by the teleport machine, it sets your boss battle score to 1. Now this will test if you have a boss battle score at all, and if you do, it'll kill any entities that are named Servant. Now I used Servant before, but I actually don't use that anymore, so that command block is actually unnecessary, but I need a block here, so I might as well keep it. So yeah, and then it'll set block 50, 24, 81 redstone block, which is here, so then it'll start testing to see if a blaze is on low health. And so, oh, did I click that? I did click that. Well, it doesn't matter. This is only a copy of the map. And so, yeah, it'll reset your boss battle score. Then it'll place on mob.chicken.say, and then it'll summon a bunny. It'll play mob.chicken.say, summon a bunny, and if you play mob.chicken.say at that low, it actually sounds kind of interesting. So if I grab a redstone block right here, this is actually what it sounds like right here. This is what a chicken sounds like, clucking really slow. Let me turn that up. Man, turn that up. It sounds like laughing. It sounds kind of cool, like a bunch of as the bunnies spawn. So yeah, that's kind of cool how that works. And then all the bunnies keep spawning, and at the end of that, the zombie gets summoned, which is all this stuff. He's got the diamond stuff, can break doors, all that good stuff. And then these command blocks were, I used to have fireballs raining down from the ceiling, but that didn't work with testing for the blaze's health, and it can sometimes blow up the diamond when he dies, and so it just didn't work. And I also used to have lightning strikes coming down, but that didn't really work either, so I had to remove them, even though it'd be pretty cool and it would add a little aspect to it. How it works is that when all the bunnies are killed, as you saw when I was demonstrating, it'll test for the rabbits, and then when there are rabbits, this redstone torch will be off. And then once all the rabbits are killed, it'll then trigger this, which will it'll teleport any blazes 200 blocks up, which is the blaze on the throne. And then it'll place on mob.wither.death, which will, kind of like, and the blaze summons in. it'll kill any blazes, and then it'll summon this long command. It'll summon a blaze named Dr. Blaze, custom, blah blah blah. It's riding a wither skeleton with a bunch of stuff, and then it'll summon the 2 skeletons. It'll play sound 1. The 1 play sound, what is that? Yeah, play sound 1 is actually the music for that. So yep, it'll set block a redstone block over right there. Actually, that is the set block for here. The set block for a redstone block, I think, is this redstone block, not that redstone block. So yeah, once the blaze spawns in, it'll summon a redstone block right here, which will then test to see if any blazes are on low health, and if one happens to be, it'll light up and start the whole death sequence. And then once you get the diamond, here's the last part. Oh, over here it is. So this is the command block to test to see if you have a diamond in your inventory, which is the diamond that the blaze drops, of course. And if you do, it'll teleport you to the coordinates of that final holding cell where your lovely dog KitKat is. Now, once you are there, once you place that in the item frame, this is testing for any item frame within a radius of 500, because I was too lazy to put an armor stand. You don't use item frames for anything else in this adventure map, so it didn't matter. And then it'll trigger this. It'll fill the area with air, and it'll destroy the block, so it has that cool destroying thing. And then it'll place a redstone block there. Well, this thing will get shoved over there, and that way this will stay over there. Oh, let me turn this down a little bit. No matter, even if it sounds alright, but yeah, that way, yeah, because as soon as the thing explodes, it'll start to play this music, and then it will, and this is also set up so that if you take the diamond out of the item frame, the bars will come back, even though no one will probably ever do that. This is executing at any entity named KitKat. Aw, little KitKat. It's testing for any player within a 5 block radius, and when it finds that player, it will then fill that thing with air, and then it'll destroy it, which will make the stone brick go poof. And then what it will do is it'll say you win, and the subtitle will be I hope you enjoyed. It'll put a firework there, and then it'll do more fireworks, and then it'll do more fireworks. So it's like, so it does the title, and then firework, triple firework. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And that's basically the adventure map. There are a few more details I think that I haven't exactly gone over, but that's basically everything. I've covered most of the stuff around here, and if you see something that you would like, that you don't quite understand, or you would like to know more of, just download this map and play it through, and at the end you can get the book to teleport to this place, or you can just do /game mode 3 and cheat, whatever, I don't care. Yeah, when you download it, you can do whatever you want with it. I really don't mind. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Minecraft Redstone project, and I hope you enjoyed playing this adventure map if you did. And if you just watched this just to see the redstone, then you're a redstone enthusiast and not so much an adventure map player. That works for me too. But yeah, that's the redstone for this map. Nothing too complicated. It was all I could all do it. I had to do it. It was a bit of a learning experience, especially when testing to see how much health the blaze had left. I had to do an entity data command and look in the chat to see what was the NBT tag for the blaze's health, and once I found it, I was able to use a test for command for that partial NBT data. So it's not too, I mean, I've been doing redstone for a while. That is my adventure map. I hope you did all enjoy playing it and watching this video on how the redstone worked. And if you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will, of course, see you all again next time. Goodbye, everybody. Woo! Yeah, goodbye. Bye.